Let's move on to another card design. This one is a lot of fun. And what you're going to notice about this card is one portion of it is wider than the other half. So this is taller than this half. It's kind of like an optical illusion if you ever went to the Science Center. There's one where you stand at one end and somebody stands at the other. So it's a little bit of an optical illusion. And what we're going to be using on this is an interesting idea. So I'm going to show you the pieces that we need to create this card. Let's look at the little items that we need. We got our ribbon, so we've always got to have a little bit of ribbon. There is the sentiment tag and the ephemera pack. Again, we're going to be cutting these guys apart. There's the gold and the little thistle there. We got our embellishments because you always got to have a little bling on a card. What we're going to be using in the card base is this one in particular. And instead of using it this way, because we don't want to cover that up, we're going to be actually using it the other way. We're going to be closing that on the inside. So that goes on the inside. We're going to use the back of this, which is white. It's going to be a lot of fun. One in particular, what we're going to be using, you are going to need to take the envelope. I know it's a really pretty envelope, and this may hurt to do this, but because it's just so pretty, you won't want to take it apart. What we want to do is carefully take apart our envelope, and we're going to kind of go along, just carefully pull it apart. Okay. Also, what I want to make a note of is when you work with the envelope, because it's a different weight of paper, make sure the blade in your trimmer when we do the cutting is very sharp. You don't want a dull blade because when you get that kind of Keith Richard hair on this, it will definitely stand out. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using some of this portion right here. We could use the one in the center here. This one doesn't work too well. You'll see here on that. Isn't that beautiful? This portion down here doesn't work as well, but either the center or the back of the fluff is what we're going to be using. So we pulled that apart. We need a piece of basic white, which is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. We need a piece of Blackberry Bliss, which is 5 1/4 by 4. Whoops, let's get that. And what we want to do is double check just to make sure that it fits on top. This is going to be sitting on top. Yes, it's got a very nice frame around it. That is exactly cut to the right size. So we got the Blackberry Bliss. We got a piece of basic white. We also need another piece of Blackberry Bliss here, and it's 5 inches wide by 3 1/2 tall. So it's 1/2 tall, 5 inches wide. That is going to become our mat on this optical illusion portion right here. So you want it really wide so that as we cut it, it's going to be smaller. Okay, so we got those items here. I'm going to just let this, there we go, put them there for you so that you can see the measurements to cut. So once you have them all ready, what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, the 5 inches wide and the 3 1/4. Let's put these ones off to the side, and we're going to be working with this. Now, this is the one that works with the envelope. Remember that envelope that we took apart? There we go. There it is, looking great. What I want to do is I'm actually going to cut this down to the same size as this, 5 inches wide, 3 1/4. I'm going to cut that down to this. Now, be careful when you cut, because these are angled on this side, on the left and right. If you cut along that, you're going to be, it's kind of angled in a little bit. It's going to be off a little bit. So what you want to do is I'm going to fold this over because I need that nice straight line. And I'm just going to cut. And as I cut, I'm going to make small cuts down to the size that I want. So that I did it left because I wanted that nice straight line so that I can turn it. Again, butt it up. I can do up to here. I'm actually cutting at 4 inches because, like I said, I'm going to be cutting it smaller and smaller. I'd rather do numerous small cuts than do one big cut and it be wrong. So I'm going to make it a little longer. Okay, And now I can pull this apart. So now it is totally square, with the exception of this one on the score line. So I'm going to cut that one off, and let's see what we have here. So I got two pieces here. Again, this one is kind of angled off, so maybe I won't use this angled one because it is going to be much smaller than what I want. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. Okay, I guess I could use this. But what I want to do is make sure that I have at least one flush piece that is straight lined. Okay, I'm going to bring that up. There we go. Is it straight lined? Yes, it is. Make sure that it is a straight line at least on one side because we need a starting point on that. Okay, again, so it is cut roughly to 5 inches wide and 3.5. Don't put your trimmer away yet because now here comes the tricky part. If you've ever cut with two pieces of paper, you got to know that this is a little bit of a tricky situation. What I want to do is, remember we had that flush corner on the top. I'm going to bring that up, and there's the corner here. I'm going to bring that up and make sure that it is flush with the left and right. If it's not, if say this was still angled a little bit, you would notice kind of something like that. You don't want that. You want it exactly flush, left and top and left. So there we go. It is top and left. Now what the tricky part is, you have to hold these two pieces tightly together, okay, to do the next step. What I want to do is I'm going to cut that top angle piece, and I want them both to be exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to hold it in here, and I'm just going to take, I'm going to just drop in that corner into the track there, and I'm going to skew it off a little bit. So it's going to cut straight down. I've got it angled a little bit so that on the bottom is kind of pointing a little higher, maybe one, oops, let's get it a little higher, like almost 1 finger length or finger width. There we go. I'm going to bring it back. If I put my finger on there, that's how much I want. So again, it's in the track. 1 finger, maybe more if you want. I'm going to bring it a little bit more. I got a big fat finger, so I'm going to put it in there. Got that in the corner, and this is going to be on the track, so it's going to cut on an angle. Make sure that you pinch these two together and cut. Very important to have a sharp blade when you do this. Now, what I want to do is create a mat. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to bring this onto this side, and I'm going to slide it. I'm going to bring my DSP, I'm going to bring it over again onto this side. Now, I'm going to place it right about there. Because it depends on how much inch you want on that side, I'm going to do about 3 inches if you want, or 2.5. You can make a little pencil mark if that helps you. And we will make a little mark at the 2.5 point. I can see there's 2.5 on the trimmer. I'm just going to make a little point right there to give me an idea. And what I'm going to do is I want this. I need to have the mat a little bit wider. So I'm going to move this down, the DSP. No, I'm going to shove it down so that I can create on the right side this piece that is peeking out. Okay? Because I just shoved the top piece over. I want to do that to create the mat. And as I cut, it's going to cut exactly. I might want a little wider, so let's go a little bit more. Just be aware of where this little mark is, as long as it's still on the cardstock. I still have quite a bit of room. So I got quite a bit of overhang on this side. Very important to have that overhang because we want this DSP, this cardstock, to be larger than the DSP. So if I start again, okay, I initially had them flush together. Remember, we cut it and it's flush. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top part and I'm going to shift it and shift it and shift it to the left. Very important, keep it flush on the top here. So I got a nice big wide band here going down the side. Again, there's my mark. Okay, I'm always going to start with the mark in or just past that blade. Okay, so I have that. Now you're going to notice that on the left side, it's really kind of sticking out. I'm going to shimmy it back a little bit because I don't want too much of a slope. And if I cut, it's going to be cut smaller. Again, there is quite a bit on the left side. The rest is on the right. I've got that mark in the track. I'm going to close it up. Keep these together, very important. Try and keep these as much together as you can. So as you close the trimmer, it's not going to shift. See, again, I've got my wide piece right there. And all I'm going to do, nice and even on the top, perfect. Just going to cut. Okay. And if I pull this away, look at that. I am left with a mat. Oops. There we go. A mat that is cut exactly to the angle shape. There we go. It's a little bit tricky. It's very important to just take your time and kind of shimmy things around. What I want to do is I'm actually going to glue this together because I don't want it to come apart. I'll lift that up a little bit. Put that down. Let's do the other side. Oops, liquid glue's just shifted it. Okay. It's okay, I can always tell because it's straight on the edge. Oops, right there. It's moved again. It's straight on the edge right here. That's what I'm going to aim for. Okay. So I may have a little bit overhanging. That is fine. All right, so we got that. Looking good. I'm going to let that dry. Now, hopefully that was pretty easy enough to follow along. That creates our optical illusion kind of angle there. What we need to do now is get our 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of basic white, and we are going to emboss this. And I'm going to be using the one with the circle and with the little dots in there. I think it looks a lot of fun. Okay, I've got it embossed. And you'll notice that I kind of offset the white on it a little bit. I wanted to give that, again, that optical illusion. Oh my goodness, I love this embossing folder. It is so much fun. Okay, this is going to be one piece that we're going to place on. I love it. It looks fantastic. If I lay this on top, I can see it kind of overhangs a little bit, but that little piece is easy to cut off. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto the embossed sheet of cardstock. Let's do that. Again, I'm lining it up on the left flush with the card. Go. I'm going to hold this. I'm just going to snip off this little extra piece. I'm going to shift that down a little bit. And I'm going to just cut off that little extra piece. Oh my goodness, this is coming together. Oh, there we go. Liquid glue is great because it kind of allows you time to kind of shift things around that you want to do. So I have it on that. I can see some of this is creeping up. All I'm going to do is grab some glue dots and just place a couple of strategically placed glue dots in just to hold down those little corners. Just because I didn't get the glue right into that corner. I don't like working with glue right up to the edge because it always spurts out. I'd rather go back, take my time, and secure it with a glue dot. It looks like I need a couple on the edge there. Okay, got one there, sticking on me. There we go. I would rather do that. I think it's better with the little glue dots, and it will definitely hold it down. I'm going to bring back in my piece of Blackberry Bliss, which becomes our mat. There we go. And I'm going to place that on top like that. Okay, looking good. It fits all the way around. Let's add some glue. Again, you'll notice I'm not getting it into the corner, but if I need to, I will add some glue dots. I'm going to squish it. I want to squish it in all to those little holes that are in the embossing spots. Oh, this is looking fabulous. I need to get my card base. Remember, I wanted to have that on the inside. There's the white on the outside. I'm going to place that on top and glue that down. Okay, double check to make sure which way it opens. Okay, there's the inside. And I'm carefully laying it down. Okay. Oh, that looks so good. I love that. I think it looks really good. What's left to add onto that is the ephemera packs. Now, this flower, again, is too long for the card. I can take a little spot and I can cut that in half. Just kind of snip it apart to make it look natural. Okay. I don't want it to go too high on the card, so maybe I'll angle this one so it goes that way. I got the gold piece. Again, I can snip that in half. I'm going to tuck it in behind. I'm going to splay it on a little bit like that. Take the other gold piece, lay it like that so it's on top. And now you'll notice that there's an end on there. What I want to do, the trick of that, is I want to get it so that it kind of hides behind like a leaf or a flower, so that little end spot. So that little end spot I need to know for sure has to go on the back of a leaf. So I can see it there, and I'm just going to add a little glue dot to make sure it stays there. Okay, so just add a little glue dot. I know it needs to go on that leaf on the back. It's all about hiding your mechanics. And I can place that up a little higher. Again, off to the side. And I'm going to lay it down. Again, I'm not going to glue it because I want to see where my sentiment is going to go. My sentiment is going to fall right about there. Or if I really want, I can bring it higher up. I can move these guys around. Now is the time to do it. Okay, I could do that. That looks pretty good. I think that's pretty interesting. I also want to add a ribbon behind this, so I have to remember I can still hide some of these little pieces sticking out on the bottom. I like this, so what I'm going to do is actually glue them down. Not going to move them around too much. I'm just going to add my glue dots because they're exactly where I want them to be. Add the glue dots, just lift them up a little bit. Stick the little glue dot underneath. Now remember this, I'm adding the glue dots to where the sentiment tag is going to sit. So if the glue dot hangs out a little bit and is sticky on the outside, that's okay, because that is where the sentiment is going to go. Look, it's coming together. All we need to do is stamp a sentiment and add our ribbon. Okay, Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to go with the same, just a little note. I think it fits just in there really well. There we go, it's there. I'm going to add a little bit of a ribbon behind it. I'm going to take my ribbon and I kind of want it like this. I want it to kind of fold it over a little bit, but I'm not going to waste the whole ribbon. If I did it like that, I would waste a lot of ribbon. I'm going to take a little portion, cut it, get a piece of tape, very small piece of tape, and I'm going to fold this, fold it over, and I'm just going to tape it to the end here. This way I don't waste a lot of the ribbon. You can't even tell, see? And I'm going to take another snip, do the exact same thing on the other side. Fold it over, and place it there. So I didn't waste the ribbon in between. I don't know about you, you can always do that. I'm going to add a lot of dimensionals because I want to make sure it sticks really well, especially with the ribbon. I'm running out of dimensionals, so I'm just going to use the edges. I want to make sure that the ribbon doesn't go anywhere. Peel that up. There's my little sentiment. Remember the little where the glue dots are? I'm going to place that right on top of where those glue dots are. There we go. All that's left is to add some little embellishments. I think these are really pretty colored embellishments. You'll notice when you look really close, there are two different sizes. There's a large and a small. Do I need another one? Maybe I need another one up here. There we go. And of course, again, some Wink of Stella. Here we go. Now, if you find that any portion of your card is sticking up, just add a little bit of that glue dot underneath. So when I open it, on the inside is this portion here that I can write on. There's that card. I just love that. I think they turned out really nice. And I really love, oh look, this one's coming up and this one's going down. Ha ha, look at that. I did not notice that. So you can see the difference, the embellishments. There we go, there I've placed them. The embossed folder, this one's coming up, that one's going down. What I had done also is, because I had some leftover gold from the punch outs, I went to an old punch that I had that had some berries on it, and I just kind of tucked them in. You can always do that. That makes your items go a little bit further. I'm going to show you what I mean. So you'll notice when you punch out, you still got some spots here, there, and that you can use. So if you got a punch, like a twig or something, that you can have little berries coming out. There we go. And there's our card for this one. Let me know what you think. I know this optical illusion portion was a little challenging, but don't worry. Take your time. You'll definitely be able to do it.